Hello, and welcome to the first of 4 sessions of Forbidden Lands. Forbidden Lands is a quote unquote old school celebration fantasy RPG from Free League Publishing. This is the Game Master's Guide, which is not so attractive as their big bright cover on the box. But this is Free League using the same system that basically powers the Mutineer Zero games, that powers Coriolis, and powers Tales from the Loop. It's modified slightly. Each version has taken a different approach to action points and resolution and so on. They've complicated some things up, and they've removed some complications for this particular version. I've run enough Mutant that I feel pretty comfortable with the dice system. It is a little more challenging doing it online, but we're going to try and work through that. Before I get to talking about what the game is and what we're going to be doing, let me say that this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. This is an online gaming community. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. We've got a ton of games on the calendar each month. We've got a blog, we've got a zine, we've got podcasts. It is all over the place. And we also have a Patreon to support that. If you're watching this, you might check out the rest of my channel. If you come here going, oh, look, somebody did a video on Forbidden Lands. I've got a lot of other games too. If you're interested in the other Free League games, you can find recordings for Coriolis, Tales, and so on. But today we're doing fantasy, as Fraser might say there. So this is going to be interesting. This is a Kickstarter that came out last year, delivered earlier this year, and is kind of it has a very consistent look to the presentation. So what is Forbidden Lands? And I'm going to have my players bear with me here while I give the elevator pitch on this. I'm not going to go into too much detail because there is a lot of detail in this game. We're going to unpack those things as we need to in play. But the basics are that we have a realm with a long history that in the past gods settled this area, gave a certain portion of the lands to the elves and the dwarves and a certain portion to the humans. And then, of course, we go through history and there's various violations of that. And the humans invade the elvish lands, elves invade the human lands, new gods come, gods fall, wizards arise, terrible forces, all of the usual things. But we have this long history, and some of the institutions that arose during that history have still remained on. The Raven sisters is the name we'll refer to, and the Rust brothers, we will come back to those. But the important thing here that has faced our people that we're dealing with is that about 80 years ago, a thing called the Blood Mist arose, and essentially it was a reddish mist that rolled through the land, and if you went far beyond your settlement, if you walked too far, then you would die. And what this did was this isolated all of these communities. Everyone was cut off. The South was cut off from the North. Communities were cut off from one another. As you can imagine, vast numbers of people died as a result of this, because suddenly, chambers, trade and supplies and all of that were suddenly restricted. So that goes on. The various areas still develop in that time. Settlements still live, and though they diminish in size, they're still there. In this game, our our world, that blood mist has finally lifted. And it's sort of vague, but I think the book is suggesting that 18 months ago is about the timeline when the mist left. So we are not in the immediate, days after the mist has lifted, but people are still getting used to it. People are still trying to figure out where they can go. And the adventurers, are the people who have gone out and have probably traveled a little bit from place to place. There's so much out there that lies in ruins. And our characters are those travelers. They are those adventurers who have gone out into that world. Our approach is a hex crawl. Our map actually has hexes. This game is focused on exploration and survival, and then exploring sites. So there is a journey system, a system for moving through the hexes, how long it takes, what skills you have to bring to bear, all of that kind of thing. If you've read or played the One Ring RPG, then may God have mercy on your soul. And it has a very sophisticated and deep journey system that's really striking. This is like that, but it dummies that down a little bit. But that's still an important part of our game. We have a map that is relatively unlabeled, and in the box set, the map is there, and then there's stickers for putting places on the map as people find things, as people find adventure sites. So that is the primary play that we're going to have. Is we're going to have a group of characters together. They are moving out in the wilderness for a particular purpose. They're going to find places. They're going to explore them, and they're going to try not to starve to death, because that is a thing in this game. So we will go through with that. The tone here is about it can be kind of grim. It is certainly a low fantasy game in some ways. It is about tight resources. It is about exploring a dangerous world, and it's not that hard to die in the mutant system. I'm going to tell you that right up front. It's not that hard to get taken out. It's not that hard to get injured and take a while to get healed. And while you can re-roll, there's no praying for the re-rolls, and there are some serious costs potentially for doing a re-roll of a roll. With that grimness in mind, I want to talk about three things. One is that, as with most of the games that we do here on the Gauntlet, I'm using the X card. We always use safety tools. I'm using the X card as our fallback. I've played with all four of these players before. They are familiar with how I use that. I just want to mention that is there if we hit something that you're uncomfortable with. Number two, I want to establish a couple of things that for me are off the table in terms of tone and approach. And then I want to bring the sort of lines and veils to you and talk about kind of what you would like or expect from the game. Number one, no PvP. The assumption is going to be that you have to rely on one another because this is a dangerous world of survival that you have to count on your comrades. So PvP is out. The other thing is no torture. That's off the table. This is a grim world, but that's another area that I want to we're going to take that off the table as a thing that, I mean, it doesn't work, and we're not gonna play that out at the table. So those are my two biggies in terms of what we're going to take off the table or put a veil over. So let me ask you about your expectations and what you might want to say definitely don't want to see in play or want to put to the side. Fraser?
Definitely sexual assault None of that, if we can.
Okay.
And I don't know. When I was reading the player's guide, it's weird because all of the kin have backstories that seem like maybe you would have some animosity towards other kin. So if any of that's in the campaign, then maybe we can steer that in a fun direction.
Okay. So let's be careful about the fantasy racism.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
okay.
Yes. Keep things tasty in our fantasy.
Okay. Cultural details rather than anything else. Okay. That seems fair. Darren, do you have anything you want to put off the table or anything you want to mention about play?
I prefer a good strong veil and torture, but that's about it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think everything is fine, and I will feel free to use the X card if I'm surprised.
All right. Yeah, feel free to use the X card, and we can also, draw lines later on. Alejandro, is there anything you want to line or veil on? Nope. Okay.
Everyone's covered what I'm.
Okay. Stephen, let's finally bring it around to you.
Yeah, everyone's covered the things I was thinking of. Specifically, Fraser's, kin influence and racism kind of things. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to have this game. It's going to be about survival, exploration, treasure hunting. In the long play of this game, there are tools for building a community. Unlike Mutant Year Zero, you don't start with that. That's a more longer play thing. So we're probably not going to hit on those details in this. We'll talk about rolling and all of that mechanics thing later on. But what I want to do now is I want to put your attention to the Forbidden Lands Character Keeper, the Google spreadsheet. I want to walk through the steps of character creation, and then I'm going to let you go to do that. So everybody can pick one of these delightfully somber colored columns, and if you will go from the characters page to the CC Steps tab, should be the second tab there. There's a reference guide for rolling up your adventurer. You will first choose your kin, which is your people, is the culture that you come from. There's a list you can see to the right of those kin. I can talk about what those mean if you want. When you pick a kin, you're also going to get a particular talent for that kin, and you'll find those on the kin/profession talents tab. Once you've done that, then you're going to roll once on the table for childhood for the kin your adventurer belongs to. And there's a tab with that, childhood tables. And that will give you your attributes, and it will give you skills. You'll then choose a profession, and you can choose or you can roll to see what class you are. And then there's events for your profession, and those are going to give you more skills. It's going to give you gear. It's going to give you talent. And at that point, you can choose whether you want to be young, in which case you're done with character creation, or you want to be an adult, in which case you sell off an attribute to get some more stuff, or you be old. You can sell off more attributes to get more stuff. But we'll come back to that. You will have a chance to redistribute an attribute point. And once all that's done, we're going to do the how did you meet events. So what we're going to need to do is everybody's going to need to roll or choose on the table for what kin you want to be. I will also answer questions about what those types are.
So I had a question for everyone. Basically, was anyone leading towards a particular type of class? No.
I didn't get it. I didn't get the email, so I didn't. This is the first time I'm seeing everything, so
Okay.
I'm pretty open.
Okay, did I not send it to you?
You might have, and I might have just missed it. So
Okay. Well, what we're going to do is walk through those steps. You can see there on that CC steps table, we have the different kin and the different professions. We have druid. They're the magic user type that has the healing abilities. We have fighter. We have hunter. We have minstrel. We have peddler. We have rider. Essentially, you get a horse. We have a rogue, and then we have the sorcerer, who's the classic mage type. So
how D&D like are these? Like, is the druid D&D like, or is it?
Yeah, the druid is actually more sort of the cleric type.
Okay.
I would describe it. It has some druidic style spells, but it also has some clerical type spells.
Okay. If nobody minds, well, no, never mind.
Does anyone have any questions about what those kin are? We have 3 different kinds of humans. We have a half-elf, we have halflings, we have goblin, orc, wolfkin, dwarf, and elf. And there are no kin profession restrictions.
What's a wolfkin?
A wolfkin is, I think, pretty much as you might picture a wolf person race.
So like a gnoll?
Yeah, they look like Gnoll. Their key attributes is agility. They get a hunting instinct kin talent. And here is a picture of them.
So what's the difference between the 3 different types of humans?
Okay. So these represent sort of historical strains of the settlements through there. And let me see if I can find there is a place in here that describes what the differences are between them. I think it actually is in the bestiary here. As I warned the players before I started recording, this is a book flipping session for me, so I'm going to apologize now for having to look up these things. So of the humans, the Alderlanders, they are people that came from the south. Right now, the lands of the Alderlands are actually locked away from access to the south. Alderlanders tend to be people that came from military campaigns into the north, or criminals and such that got thrown over the wall. There were various wars and things, and so we've got lots of those sort of settlements around from conquest. The Aelanders were a set of humans that fled religious persecution and came to the north. And then the Asleens were essentially humans that had lived up with the elves and the dwarves for a longer period of time. So has anybody picked their or rolled their kin? We kind of work through the steps together.
Yeah, I have.
What did you go for?
Into it. I'm rolling everything random, so I'm an
random.
Yeah, I'm an Alderlander human.
Okay, all right. Fraser?
I am gonna be halfling, and I think I will be a ghost child or a fighter.
Okay. And by ghost child, you mean a rogue?
It's just like their idea of a preset of stuff.
Okay.
I'll probably do fighter actually, because the ghost child, I was like, ooh, that sounds evocative, but really it's just like, we're kind of like begging for gruel on the streets and stuff. That was about it.
Okay.
So it has nothing really to do with ghosts.
And Stephen, you rolled randomly and you're going half elf.
Sure, that sounds great.
Okay. And what are you thinking profession-wise?
So I looked through a number of lists. I was leaning I could go with several, but I was leaning towards the druid healer or the druid shapeshifter.
Okay.
Have you looked? How difficult is the spell casting in this game?
Pretty easy.
Okay, great.
It pretty essentially it's a small set of additional powers that work like talents.
Fantastic.
And spells go off when you cast them, and can kind of overcast. There are some limits on them, but generally they happen.
Yeah, so I'm thinking druid. Let me look at the healer and versus the shapeshifter a little bit.
Okay.
So, what are orcs like in this game?
So the orcs were a set of people that were created as servants originally to the elves and dwarves, and they broke away from that. There are various tribes of orcs, and they're organized around that. Some of them that trade with other people, some of them that don't. And then there are drifter orcs that essentially have been, thrown out of their clan or left their clan or whatever to, mix with the other parts of society. So what are you leaning towards, Alejandro?
I think I'm leaning towards half-elf fighter.
Okay.
Or hunter. I'm sorry, hunter.
Okay.
Did anybody pick that?
Nobody picked hunter, so no, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. So with that in mind, you can look on the kin talents, and you can see I misspelled peddler at the top on that page. And the kin talents are in the first column there. So humans are adaptive. Half elves have a psychic power, and the halflings are hard to catch. They're slippery. So let's look at the childhood table here. Let's start. You are a human, an Alderlander human, right, Darren?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to roll your childhood?
I did roll, and I got hard studies.
Okay. Okay, took you under the wing. So, so you're smarter than the average bear, and got some lore and stuff there.
Yeah, it takes a dark turn later.
Okay. Fraser, do you want to roll your halfling childhood?
Sure. Let's see. What did I get? Oh, it's not rolling for me. That's weird. Maybe come back to me. I'll roll it.
All right. Then Stephen, let's have you roll a d6 for your half elf childhood.
Or pick?
Is it pick also on that one?
I don't know.
Let's see. We're gonna look at the CC steps. No, you're gonna roll once for that.
Awesome. I got a 3.
3. So student.
Awesome.
And then Alejandro, can you roll me a d6?
I rolled it. Do you want me to roll again? I rolled
No,
a
just
one.
tell me what you got. You got a
I
one?
rolled a
Okay.
one, yeah.
Okay, so you have on the run. And what that will give you is that'll give you your stats, strength, agility, wits, and empathy, which you can write in. And then it gives you 4 skills with some numbers there.
Yeah. I got a 5, which is what I was doing anyway, so
Okay.
that works out well. I thought that, yeah, I rolled a 5, which is fighter, and then I had already been filling in those things anyway, so I don't have to change it, I guess. That's good.
Wait, for a 5 for your childhood event?
Yeah. If I'm, yeah, fighter, right?
Oh, I'm doing the childhood for the halfling first. Or did you already roll that?
Oh, I'm a half elf, though.
Oh, you're a half elf. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Then you are absolutely right. Why did I think you were a halfling?
I don't know.
You said halfling at one point.
Yeah, you said halfling first.
And I thought,
Did I?
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to commit, Fraser. It's one or the other.
I always said, okay. Well, I thought I said half elf.
Okay, so half elf, which means that you get a psychic power. You're not slippery. In fact, get a psychic power.
Right.
And then, so that'll give you your attributes that you should write in on your column and the skills that you get for that. And then once you have rolled or chosen your profession, you will roll on the table for your profession talent, or you can choose. Darren, what did you get for your profession talent?
Path of the Blade.
Okay, that's a good one.
I hope so.
Yes. Fraser?
Oh, I was muted. I got a 6.
Got a 6, so you have to re-roll because we're not
Oh.
using that talent.
3.
3. So Path of the Shield.
Oh, I got that shield. That good shield.
Okay. Stephen, what are you thinking? Do you want to choose or do you want to roll?
I'm going to choose healing.
Okay, that's a good call. All right.
Yes.
And then for the hunter, let me talk about what those 3 paths are, Alejandro, so you know what you're choosing there. Let me.
What page is that? Where is that?
On the CC steps.
Oh, that's it.
You'll see
Okay.
off the side says profession
Yeah.
talents. And actually you can, if you go over, we have a tab with the kin and profession talents there that actually has what they are. So the path of the arrow is being a master archer. The path of the beast is having an animal companion. And the path of the forest is about being a master of surviving in the wilderness.
I'm going to have an animal companion.
Okay.
Because, of course, right?
Yep. So you can pick Path of the Beast, and you will get the rank 1 talent for that.
Okay, where do I put Path of the Beast?
Okay. Well, you can copy the talent description and put it under your talents down below the gear line.
Oh, I see. So, okay.
All right. And then we look at the formative events. Darren, what was your formative event as a fighter?
My formative event was that I was in a bloody battle.
Okay. So they left you to die.
Yeah.
You get a long sword.
That's about it.
Well, melee 2 is pretty good. And the sword fighter talent, which I believe is a general talent. And gives you essentially +1 to attack and parry. Fraser, what did you get?
I got a 5.
Okay. Formative event. So that is Scout.
Cool.
So you get a crossbow and a D12 resource die for arrows,
Get those arrows.
scouting, marksmanship, and defender.
And we put this in talent as well.
The gear you put under gear.
Oh yeah, it's just separate stuff that we get from it.
Yeah, and then defender, you'll find the text for that under general talents.
Gotcha. General talents.
Stephen, what did you get for your formative events as a druid?
I rolled a 4, and I think that was about studying with a master.
Studying with the master.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so you get parchment, quill, and ink.
That's right. So the skills that are under that, are they additive?
They're additive. So if you already have lore, it'll raise that up.
Okay.
And sharp tongue, I believe, gives you a bonus in social conflicts.
Okay. Is that a talent?
That is a talent you'll find under general talents. So Alejandro.
Okay. Where am I supposed to be?
So I
am following along.
Sure. So right now we're gonna have you flip
Formative events.
over to formative events.
Okay. And then
Roll a d6.
2.
2. Lived off the forest. So you dwelt in the forest and lived off it. During the days you hunted, and at night you slept under open sky. You will get a throwing spear and a dagger. That gives you 1 in your marksmanship skill, 1 in your survival skill, and then you get the general talent Master of the Hunt.
Okay, where does... Okay.
You get rank 1 of that. You can find that under the general talent tabs.
Oh, I see. Master of the Hunt. Okay. I'm rank 1 of that?
Yep. And you will get skills and talent and gear. So, Darren, do you want to be young or an adult?
I think it would be young. I like the tragedy.
Okay, so you are a young warrior. You're not going to trade out your stats, not going to get the formative events, the extra talent, the extra skills.
Nope.
Okay.
Young and dumb.
Fraser.
Is that just another D6?
What it is you decide to be an adult. You lower one of your attributes, and then you get to roll on the formative events.
I'm a scout. I will... Yeah, I'll be that. I'll do that.
Okay. What are you going to lower?
I will lower my... almost everything that I do is kind of ableist. I guess I'll lower my empathy. I've seen some shit.
Okay. And then let's have you roll a d6 for your second formative event.
I got a 1.
Captured. You were shamefully captured by the enemies. You're thrown in a dungeon to be forgotten and die. When the opportunity arose to escape, you took it. You get studded leather armor.
Okay.
Which is actually...
I did see some shit.
Yeah. You get +1 to your might skill, +1 to your survival, and you are pain resistant.
Okay.
Stephen.
I am also going to be an adult. I am going to reduce my agility by 1.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll.
All right.
I rolled a 6.
Okay.
6.
Lived as a hermit.
Oh, yeah.
You get a tent and a field kitchen.
Nice.
+1 to endurance, +1 to survival, and you get the Pathfinder general talent.
Is pain resistant is a general talent, I'm assuming?
Yeah. That pain resistant, if you take damage in close combat, you don't lose your attack on that step. Actually, we're not using those advanced combat things, so I had forgotten that uses that. So you may pick any other talent.
Okay, cool.
Alejandro, do you want your character to be young, or would you like to get another role on the formative events table?
I'll get another roll, but before I
Okay.
do that, like my lived off the forest says I have master of the hunt, but I also rolled it, right? Isn't that what happened?
No, you took the hunter path of the beast. Is your profession?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm confusing myself then.
Absolutely. You've got two talents. From your profession, you've got Path of the Beast, which gives you your animal companion.
Yeah.
And then the Master of the Hunt is a general talent that you'll find on the General Talents tab.
Right. So I think my question is, I have under lived off the forest. I rolled at some point. I got lived off the forest, right?
That's the formative event that you rolled. That's correct.
Yeah, and that comes with Master of the Hunt. It says so at the bottom.
Right?
So that's how I got Master of the Hunt, or did I roll from
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly how you got that.
Okay, I'm good. Okay. So now,
So to get another roll on
yeah,
the formative events, you'll need to lower one of your attributes.
yeah,
by
I'll lower
one.
my empathy.
Okay. Okay.
Because no one needs charisma.
Oh, we'll find out about that. All right.
I'm an animal.
Okay. Roll a d6.
On the formative events.
Yep.
D6. 5.
5. You get guide. You loaned your talents as a guide to those who paid the best. You led caravans of peddlers, troops of soldiers, and curious adventurers. You receive a tent, a cauldron, and a blanket. You will add 2 to your scouting skill. And you get the general talent Pathfinder.
Okay.
Fraser, do you want to be old?
Yeah,
Or
I get an extra talent or something for that, right?
You lower another attribute, and you get to roll another formative event.
Oh man, I don't know about that. That last one was pretty.
It was pretty brutal.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just stay in adulthood, please.
Stay an adult. That seems fine. What about you, Stephen?
Little do you know, I'm already old. So I have a question. What
Yes.
happens if I roll and I get something I've already had? Is it reroll?
You can choose to take that again and add the skills on, and you choose a different talent. Or you can, if you roll the same thing, you can also choose just to pick another one.
Oh, yeah.
So I've looked through this stuff a little bit. So I'm gonna be old.
Okay.
I looked through the stuff a little bit, and I saw that strength is kind of like your hit points, and wits and empathy are used kind of. I saw that they're used for some of the spell stuff. I didn't see much about agility. What is agility used for?
Agility is used for moving, dodging, that kind of thing. And it is also for your orientation. And if you can take agility damage, you can get disoriented. And when you run out of water, you take agility damage.
I see.
For thirst.
So I think I'm going to take, and empathy, is that social or?
Yeah, empathy will affect your manipulation, performance, healing, and animal handling.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to agility because, if I'm old, I'm not as spry as I used to be.
Oh, sure.
Can I lower it a second time?
Yeah, as long as you don't go to 0.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to lower it a second time.
Okay.
I'm going to roll. And I rolled a 5. And what is 5?
That's, let's see, for Druid is Protected the Forest.
Okay, so it says there's a D12 resource die. What does that mean?
So what you'll write arrows, and there's a D12 resource die.
Mhm.
That's the the thing that we have in Dungeon World where you roll to see if it just stays at that die or if it goes down a step on the die.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Yeah. Alejandro, are you happy being an adult or do you want to be old?
Okay, if I'm old, I drop one more. What do I roll? What do I end up rolling? It's the formative events.
You would get another formative event, but you would have to lower one of your stats again by
Yeah.
one.
And if I get the same one,
you can choose to double it up and take a different talent or take the second rank in the talent, or you could reroll.
I will. Yeah, I'll. Yeah, you know what? What the hell? I'm gonna do it.
Okay, what are you going to lower?
Agility.
Okay.
You don't need to be agile in this game.
You keep telling yourself that. So let's have you roll a d6 then for your hunter formative event.
2. I rolled 2 again.
Okay. So you can essentially add another 1 to your marksmanship and survival and take the second level of Master of the Hunt, or you can reroll.
I'll take it again.
Okay. All right. So you will get the rank 2 ability under Master of the Hunt then.
Okay, where's Master of the Hunt? Sorry.
That's under general talents.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to at this point, anybody, you can redistribute 1 attribute point of your choice if you want to swap anything around.
Oh, I don't like level 2 Master of the Hunt. Can I pick something else?
Sure.
All right. Sorry. Formative events. All right. I'm gonna do hunted a beast.
Okay. That makes sense. Anybody have questions about what those skills mean or what they do before I move forward? They're all pretty self-explanatory.
I have a question about the talents. The talents that we just got, are we all rank 1?
You will get the rank 1 talent, yeah.
Okay. And is there a talent for like our class? Like I'm a druid, is there I get a talent for that as well?
Yeah, so you've got the profession talent. You're the druid.
Yes.
And you took the path of healing.
Yes.
So you will have the rank 1 spells from the healing discipline.
Got it. Okay.
And you'll find that stuff in that spell folder. That spell PDF. There's so much copying, pasting, and formatting I can do before my head explodes. So. So here is what I want, the sort of the last little bits in the characters that you need to do before we do rolls on how you met people, and we're gonna roll that together. Everybody will choose a pride, something they are believe strongly in for themselves, and there are some examples on the CC Steps tab for each of the professions. You can use one of those, or you can make up one. Basically, your pride, you can invoke that once per session to give yourself an extra D12 on a roll. And the D12s have a lot of successes possible when you roll them. However, if you fail, then your pride is broken. But you'll pick a pride, and these are more descriptive than anything, so you can kind of make them work to different situations. You will also choose a dark secret. There are also examples there on that same CC Steps tab. And that's an XP generating question, like, did your dark secret come into play to get yourself an extra XP? You'll also notice that in that same section there, I have what other gear you start with. So, for example, Stephen, you're starting with that staff, knife, item of your choice, trade goods, silver, resource dice, etc.
Where's that, Lo?
So,
I
if you
see
look
at the bottom.
you see,
Okay.
yeah, I should have bolded stuff there.
No worries. I got it.
This is one of those cases where color coding would have been good too.
Where do we put them? The pride and dark secret.
Oh, that's right up at the top.
What happens if I have double studded armor now? Because I got studded armor from that my event, and then I also get it for gear, I guess, as a fighter.
Interesting.
I think with the rollable tables, if I may,
Yeah.
the legends, the way the rollable tables works is you ignore the gear that the class gives you, and you only receive the gear that you roll, except for the resource die.
Okay.
I only have a longsword to my name.
Yeah.
Rough out here.
Okay, so what do I do?
So you just take the gear that you rolled. You don't actually get that gear there.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Darren. I will reward you generously for having made that sacrifice. I'll just go ahead and put strike.
You do get your resource die, though. That's the one exception.
Okay.
The water and food, or whatever.
Water and food.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I won't X all that out.
That's weird. On the PDF, it does say this gear stuff, though. Why would it say that then?
Because it's from the Legends supplement, and that one specifically has like special instructions.
Gotcha.
This is from the Legends and Adventures book.
Hmm?
So I want to give you a couple minutes to look at that, get the secret and the pride, and then what I want to do is I'm going to have everyone introduce their character, and then there are some relationship things, and I think we'll probably decide those after we roll the "How did you meet" thing. So we'll do that. This needs to be an app. There needs to be a little app that you just hit a button and you make a few choices.
That's old school, so we don't do apps.
Yes, no, that's true.
Oh, okay, no, never mind. Never mind. I get a companion, but it can't be my mount. But then I get Path of the Beast. Oh, I'm confusing myself. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Sure. Yeah, you don't get the gear. I was wrong about that. You don't get the gear listed there, but you do get your animal companion.
Okay. I am
Okay.
kind of struggling, but I'm all right. All right, so I don't get the spear and dagger.
You got the stuff that you rolled on the table,
Yeah.
but you don't get. I was mistaken about the stuff under the CC talents thing. But you do start with a D8 of for food, a D8 for water, and a D10 for arrows.
I ordered the kids loop game. But then I couldn't get it, so I had to cancel the Kickstarter, and I'm now glad of that.
Okay.
This is
Oh,
really-
that's significantly easier than this game, but
okay.
yeah. All right. So let us do this. Give us a sense, Alejandro, just give us the quick pitch on how you're imagining your character, what they look like, what people see, what they're about.
Okay. Are they average elf, like D&D elves? Can I go with that?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So his name Gavel is an older half elf who spent most of his life alone in the wilderness. He's pretty reclusive, and is willing to, work for good pay, work for, help people through the forests, hunt for people, whatnot. He has a companion. I haven't decided what yet, but
Okay.
but he has a companion of that. And once do we talk about our pride and our secret?
Yeah, I think that's fair to get that on the table so we kind of know what you're leaning into.
Sure. So he's friends with the animals of the forest. They don't hurt him. They don't bother him. And once out there, he left a wounded friend to die in the forest because, nature. It's just the way things go. Yeah,
Circle of life.
I was sad about it.
And you have a really good scouting.
Yeah. I have Scouting 5, Survival 1, which is interesting, Insight 1, Melee 2, Stealth 2, Marksmanship 1, and that's it.
Okay. And you got spear and dagger, and all in a bit I'll go through and put the stats in for that for you.
It's a throwing spear, if that makes a difference.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to look at the chat, but I'll find that for you.
Okay.
And when people meet Gavel, what's their impression?
Quiet, reserved, older guy with a black and white beard like mine.
Okay.
People, he's a little bit rotund, but not quite. I mean, he's in good shape, but just kind of a little stockier. People don't realize he's in half elf at first. They just think just because he's so kind of worn, sunburnt looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So older half elves really kind of show their age.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can grow beards as opposed to elves. Okay.
Yeah.
That tells us some details. I like it. All right, and we'll come back to you in a second for some of our meeting roles here.
Sure.
Darren, tell me about your human. Your human.
My dirty human and
Dirty
his party of half elves. My Alderlander is named Brend. I don't know if he chose the nickname, but I think it stuck somehow from this bloody battle history. But he has the nickname Gravemaker.
Okay.
Brend is a fighter. His pride is that he can endure any injury. And the dark secret is that he secretly enjoys inflicting pain and injury on others. So, Brend is like a hoot to be around.
Yep.
Brend has a short but loose ponytail, delicate strands of hair falling into his eyes just as the sun is striking his youthful face. A strapping young man who's seen battle. Got only a longsword to his name, so it just always looks very good wherever he manages to have it. And then I just want kick-ass boots. That's about it.
Okay.
Very smart, confusingly smart, since he just went to battle. And let's see, adaptive because I'm a human, and I got Path of the Blade and Sword Fighter, so I'm really good with that sword.
Yep.
I hope so, at least. Yeah, that's the quick and dirty of Bryn.
So let me ask you, do you imagine that Bryn wanted to go to war in one of these fights since the mist is lifted, or do you imagine that he got grabbed up?
Yeah, he definitely got grabbed up because as a child he was educated and he was educated. So I imagine he had different expectations of his life.
And no armor. Got that sword though.
No armor. Yeah, all I have is a sword. I'm going to be parrying for my life.
Yeah. All right. Well, that tells us how tall. Pretty tall.
I don't know. I guess so. 5'10", 5'11".
Okay.
I want to be taller than the half elves.
Okay. Awesome. That brings us to Fraser. Tell us about your half elf.
Yeah. Is it okay if I re-roll my character, make a new one?
You don't like your character?
Not really. No. It's all seems kind of samey right now with everybody else.
Sure.
Maybe I make a rogue or something. Especially if we go on break after this, then I can just do it while everybody's away.
Okay. Are we going to keep your name and your race?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
This is a great chance for you to kill him first, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, how about this? I'm going to write down Ozavar, and we'll have him be, we'll have him die on screen as well. He'll be the fifth character, and I'll kill him off.
You will be, how should we say, punished.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm fine with that. If you're like, this character, I am fine with that. But let's go on to Stephen.
So I'm playing Lauron Kalanon, half elf druid who is of the Path of Healing. So basically, he's an old guy, gray matted hair. I was a hermit for a little while, so I don't bathe. I don't, I look really wild. And I'm not very pleasant to be around. I'm nice enough, but I'm kind of, it's this wild-eyed wilderness idea of, maybe I talk to myself too much or something like that.
Okay. So a little crazed. What's your pride and your dark secret?
Oh, My pride is that I sense a natural phenomena before anyone else. So I can tell whenever something's, not of the forest or not of the, not of the land. And my dark secret is I enjoy wallowing in the mud and to
Okay.
live off of what others would never eat.
That's horrible and disgusting, and I love it. Do you mention that you learned your stuff from another druid?
I did. So one of the paths that I had was I learned from a master. So I started out relatively normal and learning from a master who really knew his stuff. Very, very smart guy. However, at some point I holed up in the woods and decided that that was a better path to take. I could learn more from nature than I could from anyone else,
Okay.
and kind of holed up and started studying things. Studying nature and doing my own studies and staying by myself. However, after a while, people invaded the forest, the land that I was protecting, and I fought them off and learned skills that basically, even if I rejected the world, it would come after me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. What I want to do here is we're going to make 3 quick rolls. These are about how the group met each other. And the fourth person doesn't roll, so Fraser's going to be the fourth person in this chain. And then we're going to take our break after that. So, Alejandro,
Yes.
you're going to roll 2d6 and tell me what the digits are on those d6s.
6, 7, 8, 9. 3 and 6.
3 and 6, so a 36. So this is how you met. This is how you and Brind met. And I look at the formative events table and I look at 36 and it's mutual debt. You don't really know how it happened, but suddenly you found yourself owing an absurd amount of silver to a person you really don't want to put yourself at odds with. But you weren't alone. Another adventurer had put themselves in the same situation, and together you managed to amass enough silver to pay off the debt. So when you came back to civilization, you got caught under this. Brind, you were trying to survive. What do you imagine that you need the money for, Alejandro?
Brind, you're a fancy fighter. You like fighting fancily, and
No, I don't know if I'm fancy.
you described yourself very like.
I'm pretty, but I'm not fancy.
Well, that's the same thing. I can't tell the difference.
Fair enough. Wait, do we both owe debt?
So you both had a debt.
Okay.
To the same, you each had a debt to this essentially moneylender or whoever covered you, and you both met each other as you worked off that debt.
I see. Okay.
So it was different. It was different debts, but that's how we met.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, a shared suffering that you had there, and so the two of you started venturing together. Darren, can you roll me a d6, and we'll see how you met Lauron.
That's a 35.
35. So that's the same thing. So let's have you roll it again.
Okay. It's just a lot of debt in this world.
Yes.
A 32.
32. So you two essentially fell into a trap that Lauron had set up in his area of the woods, protecting your section of the forest, I assume, Lauron. And after you were captured, the three of you fell to conversing, and you found some amount of mutual respect, especially given that Gavel is also a person of the land, a person of the woods. Does that make sense? And then the three of you on the road, how did you meet this faceless mystery figure? Let's have you roll, Stephen.
I rolled a
D6.
55.
55. So the three of you were headed into the marshes, checking things out, and you wandered too far and suddenly were lost in the fog. And you were surrounded by dozens of saurians. You were brought to their village deep in the wetlands, and you met Fraser's character, who we're going to find out about soon. And you managed to escape from them. In fact, that's probably we're going to kind of take up in the aftermath of that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take about a 13-minute break to give Fraser all the time he needs and give me a chance to make a nice big cup of tea. And when we come back, we're going to start out, put you guys on the map. I'm going to ask some questions about the thing, and we're going to get to making some journey tests and maybe even fighting some things depending on the encounter rolls. So that is what's going to happen. So back at 20 after. A goblin?
Yeah, goblin rogue.
Okay. An old goblin rogue.
Yeah.
Am I the only young person in this party?
It's a kid and a bunch of old non-humans.
I'm a
Don't
goblin.
worry about it. We tolerate you.
I hope so. It's amazing how those tables are weighted for humans.
So, Fraser, you want to tell us about your character?
Sure. So my character is Hild the Silent,
Okay.
a goblin rogue wanderer who's had a rough life that kind of parallels the previous roles that I did.
Okay.
So he joined a guild of thieves, did a successful heist, but then was imprisoned, which netted me the same pain resistant thing. So then I took knife fighter because it gave me a dagger. It was hard in prison.
Nice.
And yeah, so I've got a dagger, leather armor. I'm Goblin King, so I can be sneaky. I've got Path of the Face, so kind of Game of Thronesy with those people that can assume likenesses of other people. I have Sixth Sense, which means I'm better at scouting, essentially, and Knife Fighter and Lucky because I'm old.
All right. But no armor this time.
Oh no, I have leather armor.
Oh, do you? Good. All right.
Yeah. Oh, and it said it wasn't, I'm not sure what it means. It says to receive an item from valuable finds in a layer. Reroll if the result is below 33
Oh, okay. That is
from my successful heist.
let's
Before
see.
I brought it with me in prison, I guess.
You snuck it out. I assume.
Yeah. It was waiting for me.
Look at my find the valuable items. Valuable finds. 188. Okay. We'll roll essentially a D66.
It would be a 16, so I'll reroll.
Okay.
41.
41. So that is a bronze bracelet that is worth 3d6 copper.
Bracelet. 3d6 copper. Okay. Cool.
And we will work out one of the things that they have on there is that you can under each profession they have example relationships to the other members of the group, and so we'll figure that out, I think, in a bit, because I kind of want to roll into what's going on here. So how did you get caught by the Saurians there, Hild?
I am thinking that perhaps my previous band of guild people that I went on a adventure with betrayed me.
As they want to do.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then, Hild. You and the others were captured by Saurians. The Saurians, took you across land. They were moving up towards their northern marsh area. What is it that happened, or what did you do that allowed this group to escape?
I took a dangerous path.
Snuck off from them?
Yeah, I got one in stealth. I could do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Don't judge me, though. I have odds.
So you were able to kind of sneak away, and then how did you get the rest of the group out?
I was thinking we were like pursued and they followed, but I led them through like a dangerous winding road that only I could lead us through type deal.
That makes sense.
Maybe they were on horses, right? And they were like getting slapped by the things in those movies. Oh, the dangerous.
I don't
forest.
think Saurians ride horses.
Oh, okay.
But they were chasing after you, and you're smaller. You can get through the underbrush. You can get through the woods. You had the sense that these Saurians were like pretty far beyond their normal hunting lands, and you were able to get away and join up with the others. So this group, you four, you have some resources. It is late in the day, so we're essentially in the evening hour when the group is on essentially able to kind of decide where to move to freely. So if I can have all of your attentions to the map, I'll drop the link to it. So just to tell you, you've come from the north and you're in this white hex there. I'm using that to sort of mark the present location. And you have a general sense, you have a kind of a rough map. The sort of three closest areas of interest, if you want to try to find some place that maybe has significance or that you know has a location, you can see that directly to your east, essentially 3 hexes over. It looks like there's a village or settlement there. 3 hexes to the south, there's another village or settlement. And then 3 hexes to the south and west is an old site. A tower. So let's take up with you, 4 in the evening. Probably the reason you have minimal equipment is because some of it got taken by the Saurians. You probably have been running a little exhausted, and the question is, do you want to try and press on here as it gets on dusk, where it's a little more challenging to scout, or do you want to camp here, stay overnight, and set out in the morning?
I think we could keep going.
What do others think?
I'm down. I might be old, but I'm not out.
So is this like right after we escaped?
Yeah.
Oh.
I say we ambush them. If they're coming after us, do we have pursuit?
No, it looks like you have managed to escape.
Escape. Then it doesn't matter then if we stop and rest here. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think I do either. Wait, I'm fine with moving on.
Okay. Let me do a quick thing and find the list of animals for our Beastmaster here. The Beast table from 124 in the Game Master's Guide. Here, by the way, is page 124 in the Game Master's Guide. So that is an incorrect page reference that they have in the book.
You have a wyvern.
Fine, I'll take it.
Nope. Let's see. Animals. Let's see. That's one. Okay. So here are the possible animals: bear, wolf, fox, deer, boar, donkey, warhound, crocodile, dog, cat, raven, eagle, snake. There's some others, but I don't think you want a swarm of rats.
think
I'm
that's
gonna go. Can I go with a swarm of bears?
No. You could have a swarm of bats.
I'll take one bear then.
One bear. All right. So you have one bear. So what is the bear's name?
Micah.
Okay. So Micah has caught up to you there as you have escaped from the story, and it's probably been pacing you and has caught up to where you're at. So here's the question. You're going to move on for this evening hour? That seems reasonable. Let me ask you this then. Do you want to head towards the tower? Do you want to head towards the southern village? Do you want to head towards the eastern village? Or do you want to head somewhere else? Which way?
I would vote for the tower because there's fewer people there. You said it was a ruined tower. You said, right?
Yeah, you don't know. You haven't been there. It's just marked on the on your maps as a tower.
Oh, I was in the impression.
I think we should go back to town where there are people. We were just kidnapped by Saurians.
What does our goblin think?
That sounds wise. Later we could check out that tower, but right now I feel haggard.
And Lauron?
I think he basically doesn't really talk to the rest of them. Heads off in the southwest direction, but whenever they all head some other direction, I'm gonna follow them. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna split up from them, but he's just grumpy and. Why are we going to town? I hate people.
Good. So I'm going to take it that you're going to move southwards.
Yeah, that would be the direction I want to go.
So you are in kind of a deep forest here. It's a slightly more difficult area here. So you're going to get in the evening hour, you'll be able to make essentially through this hex here. It is summer, so it is still light in the evening time, so you don't have to worry about darkness. Which brings us to the issue of the journey rules. So when you hike, when you go to move, everybody essentially is hiking. There's no roll unless you are pushing it and trying to move further than you normally could. But someone needs to lead the way, act as Pathfinder, and they use survival for that role. And then another person needs to keep watch, which is the person who, if there's a random encounter, will deal with that. And there's the scouting role is used for that.
I can be the guide. I mean, that's what I do.
Okay. Then who wants to keep watch?
Sounds like a job for you, Hild.
Yeah, I have really good. What is it again? The stat?
That is scouting for keep watch.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that. If anything, survival though. I'm your goblin.
Okay. So let's look at then the person who's leading the way is our hunter, which means a survival role. And because of your Pathfinder talent, you're going to get an additional +1 to this. So this is how this is going to work then, Alejandro. If we look at your character sheet, we can see that you have 1 in survival, and you've got 3 in wits. Plus you get an extra die from your talent.
So that's 4.
So it's going to be a total of 5 dice then. Now, this is the thing that is what we're going to do now. I'm going to go over to the roller so that I can show you guys how this works. Go to that. So I'm going to move dice for you, Alejandro, just to show you what's going to happen. So because your stat is 3, you're rolling 3 base dice. And because your skill is 2, you're rolling 2 skill dice. You don't have any gear for this, so you're not rolling those. And what we're looking for on those dice is you want to roll a 6 on one of those dice. So you can go ahead and re-roll all of those base dice, those 3 there, and the skill dice, the 2 there.
I did not roll a 6. You mean a total of 6, or
No, a 6.
I did not roll a 6.
Okay.
I suck as a guide.
So we're going to have a mishap is what occurs then in that journey roll. And at this point, you could re-roll, but you don't necessarily want to do that because if you re-roll, any ones stay and will cause damage to you. So it'd be a bad idea in this situation because you'd automatically take some damage. So I'm going to look at the mishap table here. Again, flipping through.
So I think he actually rolled the top dice, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
did you roll the top dice or did you roll dice in the box? The box is there.
I rolled the top dice, the ones that you moved.
Okay. Let me.
So I don't see boxes.
You don't see the background image?
I do not.
No.
That's really weird.
But
Okay.
they're different color though, so it makes
Yeah.
sense to me.
Okay. So let me move some of these dice off to the side. Alejandro, I want you to roll
Again.
again. There should be 3 white dice and 2 red dice. If you would re-roll those.
Nope. I rolled a 1.
Okay.
Does it matter what rolled what? Like if the red ones rolled?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because essentially ones on those white dice, the dice from your stats, are a problem.
Okay.
Potentially if you re-roll. If you don't re-roll, they're not a problem.
Oh, was this a reroll? Because I didn't.
No, because I gave you the wrong dice for that. So
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to quickly roll this. Okay. All right. So could I have Fraser? Could I have you make a scouting roll?
You can, and I think
Okay.
it will be. Oh no! So I've got 3 wits and 2 scouting. So is it the same roll?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just re-roll these. Shazam! I got 1 success.
All right. So it's evening, and the 4 of you are moving along through these woods. It's even though there's still light in the sky, it's still hard to see, but Hild, you're kind of. Do you imagine that you are off to the side or out in front? How do you do your sort of scouting here?
Yeah, I imagine that I would be up front.
And you will hear something coming at you guys, like the noise of you moving through here has clearly drawn something's attention, and is actually rushing at you. Your successful spotting gives you a chance to react here, but essentially you think maybe you've crossed over into something's territory and it is coming at you. What do you want to do, Hild?
Is there a way to identify it before I act, or like figure out what it is before I do something?
I think you've got a success there. So I will say it looks like this massive boar.
Do I know if I were to like scream at everyone to jump off the road, would it just like keep going forward, or are they like really vicious and chase you and stuff?
Normally it would, but you think given that this thing is rushing this way, that something, either your scent or you're entering its territory, something you've done has riled it up.
Okay. Then I'll yell boar and and take out my dagger and roll to the side and get ready to clothesline it with a dagger.
Okay. Bryn, what do you do?
I don't know. What does one do with a boar? I think
Eats it.
I mean, I think I'm just gonna try and like get out of the way or something.
Okay. So essentially you want to try and not be the one that it sees, right?
Yeah. That sounds
Okay. That seems fair. What about you, Lauron?
I put a tree between me and where the noise is coming from.
Okay. So you get behind a tree, and Gavel, you can tell a enraged boar is headed. It's about to break into the clearing here.
I'm going to run and engage it, and the animals from the forest don't attack me. So
That is a pride. So that's sort of a descriptor thing. So you could invoke it to give you self an extra die if you wanted.
how often can you do that?
Once per session.
Not yet. I'm gonna go engage it.
Okay. So are you going to attack it?
Yeah. Can I try to scare it off?
Sure. I think that'd be an animal handling for you to know how to do that.
I don't have animal handling, do I?
Let's see.
No.
No, but you could roll with your empathy.
With just my 2 dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that first.
Okay. Then just roll essentially 2 of these white dice.
I'm gonna do the left too.
Okay.
Yeah. 6. Nothing.
So what does that look like when you're trying to scare it?
Yeah, so I just kind of run. I imagine that I'm kind of coming in at it at an angle,
Mhm.
and I'm just I got my spear in my hand, and I'm just yelling at it. Yeah,
Okay.
go, and I'm speaking in boar.
And you're shouting at it, and rather than scare it off, that definitely draws its attention. And it is going to come and attack you.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and roll for the boar here. Let me grab my.
Hello. When people fail, do we get willpower?
Willpower is gained on rerolls.
Rerolls, right?
Yeah. So, and it's got a.
So we don't have any willpower right now. Is that what that means?
You don't start with any willpower in the game.
Yeah. Okay.
So now, what's going to happen is that the boar is going to attack you. You can opt sort of off your turn to dodge or parry this. That will essentially eat up your quick action on your next turn, which might not be a terrible thing for you. Or you can essentially take it and get your full action on your next turn. What do you think, Alejandro?
What's a dodge or parry?
Essentially, a dodge roll is made with move, which is your move plus agility, and a parry is made with your weapon plus strength. So for you, we look at your thing. Your parry roll would be a 4 dice for your strength and 2 dice for melee. Your dodge would just be 4 dice for agility. And what that is any successes you get on that roll, subtract from the attacker, from their successes.
Okay, I will parry then.
Okay. Let me go ahead and roll his dice. So got that. So for you, you're going to be rolling these 4, am I right? 4 white dice and 2 red dice for your parry.
Two sixes.
Okay. So you will negate a part of its hit, and you're going to take 1 point of damage on your strength.
Okay.
So essentially, this boar comes up, and you manage to get your spear in the way, but it still clips you with that tusk.
Okay.
Hild, what do you want to do? This boar has just run up and gored your hunter.
Yeah, that's rough. I'm gonna use my dagger to try to slip it into the meat of its neck or something.
Okay. Then go ahead and roll melee plus strength.
Okay, melee.
If you have any bonuses, you can add that.
And it's is white skill first?
So base dice are your stats, white. Skill
Okay.
dice are the red dice.
Okay, so I need 1 more. Here we go. Is that right? Let's see. 4 plus 2. Oh, okay.
This is what it looks like to me. That it's clearly not showing to you guys.
Oh yeah, I don't see that.
No.
Okay, but this should be right here. I got no successes and 2 1s. That's
Okay.
not the best.
Now you could re-roll.
Oh wait.
Yes.
I roll another one because I have knife fighter.
Okay. Maybe this will be the lucky one, and the extra die is an extra red die.
It's an extra red one. Okay,
Yep.
I'll grab that. Oh, that's a 1.
Okay. Now you could re-roll, but you're showing a 1 on that first set of stat dice, so you would definitely take a point of damage on yourself if you did so.
And strength it would be?
It would be in strength, yes.
Okay. Well, other people need to go anyway, so
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
So nothing bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
Brind, you will see Hild, your goblin, bravely rush up to attack this boar with no success.
I mean, I guess I'll attack the boar.
Okay.
This is beneath me, though. I just want to make sure everyone knows that.
All right. So what is your strength and what is your melee?
My strength is 4, my melee is 2, and I have a +2 on my long sword.
Okay. You get 2 of the blue dice
from sword fighter.
The bonus from the sword fighter is a red die. The bonus from the longsword is the blue dice.
Yeah.
So grab all. You have a huge number of dice, sir.
I sure do. Let's see. Oh no, 2, 3 red dice. Yeah, and then 2 blue dice. Okay. Wait, no. Select.
All right.
I got a 6.
Get a 6, so you will succeed and hit it. What is its? What is your damage with that?
2.
2.
Can I reroll for more?
You can, but you've got a 1 showing on the gear dice.
Hmm.
So if you re-rolled, then you would damage your sword.
Oh, okay. It's not worth it. Not for more.
So where do you hit it that does a chunk?
Let's see. Gavel has been bored into. And Hild just waved their knife in front of the boar's face, right? And then, maybe like its leg. I'm just gonna like
Okay,
shot out its leg.
Swing, take a hit, catch it in its leg. It shrieks when it gets hit because that's a substantive blade that you strike it with. What about you, Lauron?
So I have a question about willpower. You said that you get that by re-rolling?
So you get willpower when you take damage on a reroll. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I want to do that. I think what I'm going to do is I want to, because willpower is what lets you cast spells.
It does fuel that. Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to try and it's essentially do a monster knowledge check on this thing. I want to know why it's coming after us, what we did to piss it off.
Okay. So I would say either lore or animal handling for that.
So I'm better at lore, so let's do lore.
Okay.
And that's wits?
Yeah, so it's 5 white dice and 4 red dice.
Okay. Is there another white dice somewhere?
Yeah, let me find where I tucked it away.
Okay.
Of course, it's not letting me scroll now because that's the way this thing works. Hang on, let me get another white die.
Fantastic.
There you go.
Okay. It is 5 and 4 and roll selected. So I got 2 6s.
Got 2 6s. So this thing you suspect has must have a litter nearby, and you must be very close. Like you must be just about on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of came rushing in here at you. I'll give you a follow-up question. You got 2 successes.
Well, one question is, what happens if I re-roll? Can I re-roll?
So you could re-roll. You would re-roll all the dice that don't show 6s or 1s. And that would give you additional successes, potentially.
Okay.
But any 1s that you rolled on the white dice would deal damage to the stat that you rolled with.
So I think I still want to re-roll.
Sure.
So I'm going to do that because it powers. My understanding is that it powers up my willpower, and that's how I get spells to heal people.
Right.
Okay. And people are getting hurt. So I don't think right now I take any damage because the only one is on a red die. But if
Correct.
I roll any, I will.
If you roll any on the white dice, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I do have 1 6. And I got a second 6.
Okay.
And I didn't get any 1s. Okay.
So don't take any damage, but you've got 3 successes there.
Okay. So my second question, my next question will be, I want to find where the litter is.
Yeah, you can step to the side and you'll look and you can see that are like a pair of young boars, kind of in a like there's a set of bushes there by a tree. Maybe there's some of the branches, and they've got almost like a little cave there in the tree branch.
Can I ask another question for the third six?
Yeah.
So I think what I'd like to do, what would it take for me to get the mother to run off with her litter? Could I scare the babies and that would cause her to run off as well? Something like that.
Yeah, well, you think if the babies ran away, she would certainly chase them over trying to gore you guys. I think that seems like a reasonable answer to that question.
Fantastic. Okay.
Hey, let's swing back again to Gavel, and then we'll do the boar. Gavel, what do you want to do? The boar has hit you, clipped you a little bit, but Brent has run up and has put a nasty slash into this thing.
Is there any way I could? I'm just going to try to scare it off again. I'm not going to attack it.
Okay. Then go ahead and roll with empathy.
Okay. So plus, it's just empathy?
Yep.
Okay, that's 2 dice?
Yep.
That's the white dice, right?
Yep.
Nope.
So you go to do that, and it seems so absorbed right now. Like you're clearing an area, it's trying to protect, and it's already been hit, and it looks angry. It is going to wheel and try and drive those tusks into you, Brend.
That seems unnecessarily dramatic.
Does it seem unnecessary? I don't think it seems unnecessary for it. So let me quickly move some dice down. It is wounded. So I'm going to move this up. Okay. So I'm rolling 2 white and 3 red. And it misses. So it goes to hit at you, but you will kind of pivot out of the way even as it comes at you. You hit it in its leg, so it's got that sort of hobbling wound there, and it tries to hit you and doesn't succeed. Hild.
I'm gonna try to land a killing blow of some kind.
All right. I'm going to try and steal the boar. Okay.
Yes. So it will be 4. Okay, so I got 4 to begin with here. And then I got 1 skill because it's melee, right?
Right.
And then I've got 1 extra skill 1 because of my talent.
Yep.
And then gear-wise, I have +1 bonus from the dagger.
Then you get a blue die too.
Yes. Okay.
There's almost no chance you could fail now.
Oh yeah, I can fail at these games. Okay, I got 1 hit.
Got 1 hit. So how much damage does that dagger do?
Just 1.
Just 1. So where you don't kill it, but where do you land that dagger into it?
Do I feel like if I re-rolled and I got another one, would it die with just a little bit more effort?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I will just, oh wait.
Oh, did you see that 1 that's under your base dice? Is that what you went all about?
No, that one I did see, but skills just means I can't re-roll that one, right?
Just means you can't re-roll that one.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I will still do that and take the hit.
And roll the 3, 4, 4, and the 4 on the gear die.
I got 1. Oh my god, I got a lot of 1s though. I'm having a rough day.
So you're going to take 3 damage.
Yeah. Whew. It's hard out there.
And did you get that extra success?
Yeah, I did get the extra
Yeah.
success. at
So
least.
where do you land it? Where does it hit that you drop this thing?
Maybe just like right in the head.
And you jab it in the head and it staggers back like stunned, but then it charges forward and it runs that tusk through you and pins you to the tree.
Yes, there's a wailing, a goblin wail.
What is it? Are goblins deep voiced or shrill voiced? What do you imagine?
At this point, it is shrill.
Okay.
Whatever it was before, it has become shrill.
And so Lauron, what do you do?
Are we still in combat?
We are out of combat because that boar is dead.
So I think Lauren grabs like a couple of little scrubby bushes next to him and yanks them up out of the ground, and then waves them towards the little boars and goes chasing after them, trying to chase them off.
Okay.
And making noises.
All right. Yeah. They will take off. Their boar mother is dead. So she's not going to chase after them.
Right. Of course. Yes.
But yeah, you will chase them off.
How much willpower do I get?
You get 3 willpower.
Oh.
Can I start like skinning it and prepping the meat and stuff?
Absolutely. There's no roll for that. You will get a unit of meat and a unit of pelt.
Do I also get willpower for my reroll?
If you took damage.
Oh, you get. I don't think I did.
No, then you don't get willpower. You will get willpower at the start of each day too. So
I'm sorry. One unit of meat, is that just one food or?
Yeah, it's just 1 unit of meat. You could eat it raw, or when you take it to town, or if somebody has a cook talent, they can convert it into food.
Okay.
I have something. Oh, it's herbalist. Never mind.
Yeah.
So, but is 1 unit that like what does that equal?
So that equals essentially a ration for a day.
For that big boar, I got 1 ration for a day.
That's how they define these things. Let me check and make sure. Because
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
let me see the hunting table.
I can cook it. It's just you take the meat and you apply it to the fire, and then you eat it.
Get to this journey rules. There we go.
So while you look that up, I grab the entrails and I just smear them all over my face and eat the entrails because it's the best.
Okay.
Oh, what are you doing? I'm like wiping off my blade. That's not. No, that's not necessary, man.
It's the best.
Yep.
Try some.
No.
It is 4 units of meat and 2 units of pelt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's a significant amount of meat there.
While that's all happening, I'm just like against a rock, and I'm like, I'm just gonna take a nap. I'm not feeling so good.
Bryn, what do you do? Your goblin who kind of led the Saurians, led you to safety is bleeding out, pinned by this boar against this tree.
I'm gonna heft you out from between the boar and the rock without a care to your comfort at all.
Do either of you have a healing skill?
No, of course not. I'm smart enough though to see that he's injured.
Yes.
I have a healing skill if someone wants to point that out.
Yeah. Well, you will certainly see from your dinner of entrails as you look up, you will see the goblin is bleeding quite
Oh,
badly.
well,
Not literally bleeding, but is very badly injured.
yeah, I think I'll go over and see if I can't stop things right away.
Okay.
I'm still holding the goblin. Lauren, here, take a hill.
Do you say anything, Hild, during this exchange?
I think I'm just whimpering in pain.
So Lauren, roll 3 for your empathy and 2 for your healing.
Okay.
The 3 white dice and 2 red dice.
Okay.
After all, I am Guild the Silent.
Don't you have pain resistance? Yeah, you. That's why I was assuming you actually didn't feel and didn't take any real penalties from that.
Oh, but I thought I couldn't take pain resistance because gave me a skill that was only in
Oh
granular
yeah, you're
cold.
right. You're right. That is that's that. Yeah. So you took something else.
Yeah.
So I got no successes, and I rolled a 1 on my white die.
Right. So if you re-rolled, you would definitely take a point of damage on your empathy.
But right now he's not. He's not.
It's not
doing any good.
healed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So roll everything but the 1.
Yeah.
How do you get back your strength and agility and that stuff?
There's rest for recovery, and then there's the healing skill for physical damage there.
And then I also have some spells that once I get some willpower, I can restore some of that.
So you will heal 2 damage to the wounded goblin. What is that? What do you suppose that looks like with the sort of non-magical healing here?
Yeah, what this looks like is, I kind of go over and I poke at the wound, and I think that he kind of squeals a little bit as I do this. And the next thing I do is I kind of reach in and I kind of squish it, close it up, and then basically, reach over and put his hand on it and say, "Hold, press here," and then kind of, put a little piece of cloth or something that I rip off of someone's clean cloak over his stuff, over the wound, and I say, "Hold it here. We'll see."
Okay. And that healing is a little bit different from magical healing. You will need to rest now to have that settle in.
Okay.
So you will get 2 hit points back. You take 1 point of empathy damage.
Okay, I've got that.
And you get a point of willpower because you took a point of empathy damage.
Ooh. Is anyone else hurt? Because I could then cast the healing thing.
I'm down 1 strength. Does that mean I'm hurt? That's
Physical damage. Yeah, that's your physical hit points.
And if I rest, it'll heal.
Yeah, I believe that will allow recovery. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm down 1 if you want to try to earn some more willpower. But
I think it would use up my willpower, and if we rest and it comes back, then that's fine.
Yeah.
So recovery works like this. You recover points by resting or sleeping each quarter day, and as long as you get a full rest now, you guys will recover up that damage.
So I can go back to 4?
You can go back up to 4.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Assuming that you take that, and if you sleep, then anyone who sleeps can recover all of their damage. But someone will have to essentially keep watch during the sleeping hours.
I guess I will.
Okay.
We're camping here for the night at the scene of the crime.
That seems like what's happening.
Okay.
So everyone should Let me get the stuff here on how those dice work. Again, I apologize. I've tried to absorb all the rules, and yet. It's already right. Look at this index. Okay, so everybody needs to eat rations and drink water. Now you have 4 units of meat. You could use that now if you wanted to, and no one would have to roll ration dice or anything like that.
That meat is raw. I won't be fooled.
It's
the
not.
best.
It's not fully cooked, but it. You can eat. It needs to be cooked, but you can eat it raw for a single unit, essentially. So you got 4 units, so you could do a quick cook here on the fire, and have that work.
So all the meat will be gone.
All the meat will be gone, but nobody will have to roll any food resource dice.
Yeah, that's fine. I will make my specialty.
I will not eat your meat.
So you're going to skip on the boar meat then?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you still have 1 unit of meat left, and you need to roll a food resource die.
Is that the dice that shows a 7? Is that a D8?
So if you rolled a 1 or a 2, it would go down. Otherwise, it stays the same.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the dice that's showing a 7.
Okay, yeah, I just don't recognize what the D8 shape is.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I got a 3. So you said a 1 or
So
2?
you keep your food.
You see Bryn sitting on a rock snacking on some dry bread and whatever else is in her ration. Some
And
oil.
What else?
I'm
Sizzling.
gonna eat some of that sweet boar organs.
Okay. The
Oh, yeah.
sweet meat.
Gotta do my water too.
Yep. So everybody, if you're going to drink water, you should roll whatever your die is for water. If you roll a 1 or a 2, it goes down 1 step.
I
So
got a
if-
5.
Okay.
Suckers.
Where is the gear?
Oh, so right now you, let's see here. Let me go back to the kin talents. See here, CC steps. So as a hunter, you start out with a D8 food, a D8 of water, and a D10 of arrows.
D8 of food, D8, 10 of water.
D8 of water and a D10 of arrows.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And
Okay.
I rolled a D8 for my water. I got a 1, so that goes down to a D6.
That is the case. And then so Gavel, roll me a D8.
1.
Okay, so your water rations will go down to a D6. So you guys rest through the night, and you keep watch. Brind, why don't you make a scouting roll for me?
Oh well. Let's see how many dice I'm rolling. Just 5.
That's still pretty good.
All my wits. Reroll. I got 3 6s. The night doesn't watch me. I watch the night.
You keep watch during the night. You move around. You think anything that might have come into the area, smelling the food or anything like that, your movement's scared away, and it will. The night will pass uneventfully for you.
Nice. Just snacking on my crackers.
Yeah.
No big deal.
So here is the question then: when morning comes, everybody's healed up. You're all in great shape. The only problem being, Bryn, is that you got no sleep. So you guys could press on today and essentially try to make it to this village by the end of the day, or you could rest here in the morning to allow Bryn to sleep and then take off.
Whatever Bryn wants. Bryn's scary.
I think as everyone's waking up and packing up, I'm already like standing up, sword sheathed, looking at the path ahead of us. Maybe even tapping my foot at some point. Like, we're gonna get on the road.
Okay.
You want to take your time.
Okay. You're gonna start seeing illusions if you don't sleep.
Yes. And so you all will press forward, moving directly southward still towards that village. So I'll move the hex down. In the quarter day, in open terrain like this is, you're going to be able to make it to the village by noon. But I do need someone to roll survival for leading the way, and someone to roll scouting for detecting any oncoming traffic, essentially.
I should be rolling scouting, not survival, the other one, because my
Okay.
scouting is much higher. And
Okay.
I got them mixed up. So whoever wants to do survival first, or should I do first?
The first person to do it should be the survival roll.
Yeah.
Hild?
Sure. Yeah, I
You look
got.
like you're all survivaled up. You've actually got 3 and 3 for survival, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Shazam! Let's see what happens. Caw. Failure.
Two. And now here's the
yeah.
thing. Here's what no successes. No successes means I roll on the mishap table.
Oh, is it interesting?
Well, he got gored by a boar last time.
Right. I didn't get any ones, so I will do it.
Okay.
Let's try. Let's go for it. Oh, that's nice. I got 4 ones. Why? This dice roller hates me. I'm gonna start rolling at my house.
So you're going to take 2 points of wits damage.
Jesus. Okay.
And you're going to get essentially you're going to get the willpower for the day that you would get plus 2 more.
So 3 more.
3 more willpower. Look at that. You got all that willpower.
Yep, but I'm getting it's rough.
All right. So I am going to look at the mishap table now. I know what
I think it's just my confidence, like the boar thing. The boar thing happened, and I'm feeling real troubled, and yeah.
Absolutely. So here's the thing, Hild. You are leading the way through this day, through this morning hour. The terrain is a little up and down. There's scrub brush around here, and there is a moment. The others are following behind you. They're you are in the lead. There is a moment when you come to this sort of gnarled tree, and you say to yourself, "Oh, we've been here before."
Oh yes, the weeping tree. I recognize it well.
And you realize that you have walked in a circle.
Right. Well, these paths, you know how they get.
What do you say to your companions when you have that realization?
I say that some kids must have been playing a game and moved the cornerstone. So we took a left, and then we took a left, and then we took a left, and now we're kind of right back where we began. But now we know. We learned the real adventures, the things we learned along the way.
Hill, what the fuck? As I'm yawning.
Yeah, it's not the best.
Yeah. So you lose a quarter day. Do you want to press on?
But it's also like it's a really pretty day.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous out. It's summer. It's nice. There's no blood mist.
Yeah.
There's no people here, so I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. So you reorient yourself, and would you like to continue to lead the way, Hild?
Oh yeah. Okay, sure. Okay.
What happens if he gets down to 0 wits?
Well, yeah. So he'll be broken if he gets down to 0 wit.
The kids will have destroyed me with their ploy.
However, right now he's safe to do a roll because this is a fresh roll, so he's not going to take any damage. He just doesn't want to re-roll.
All right, let's see what happens. I'm due for successes. I got 1 success.
Look at that. So you find finally some signs of like people having traveled through some paths and things that suggest to you that the village is reasonably close. Let's have our druid. Do you want to make your scouting roll?
The hunt.
Not druid. I'm sorry. Our hunter.
Yeah. So skills are red, and wits are white, right?
Yep.
All right. One success.
One success. So you keep your eyes wide open during this travel, and you don't see any. Yeah, you need like 10 dice in this system. It's crazy. You don't see any hostile forces here, and you will see by as evening begins to fall. You can see this settlement. It looks like it's along a river. It's got walls around the outside. It has it looks like there's a mound or a hill that it's built next to. If you go to the slides, the map thing, I'll swap the slide over to what the village looks like. And I think actually, given the craziness that we did with character creation today, I think I want to stop there so that we can start with all of you at the mouth of this settlement. Does that seem fair?
Sure.
But I should dole out XP, shouldn't I?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's look at the experience point system. XP, page 39.
Oh yeah, Darren was wondering if he got willpower from not sleeping like we all did.
Oh yeah, you'll get a point of willpower. I'm just going to give you a point of willpower each day. I have to look up that rule, but for the moment, all right. So these are the questions. For each yes, you'll mark down 1 XP. Did you participate in the game session? Okay, then we get to mark down 1. Did you travel through at least 1 hex that you had not visited before? Yes. So that's another 1. You didn't discover a new adventure site. But you did defeat a monster, so that's another point.
It was a mother, not a monster.
You're the one who stabbed it. You didn't find treasure. You didn't build a stronghold. Did anyone activate their pride? No. Did anyone suffer because of their dark secret?
Acting on my,
I
I was
suffered.
acting on my pride, wasn't I?
Did you activate it?
What does like roll on it?
Yeah, use the D12 to give yourself the bonus dice.
I should have.
But we'll keep that in mind for next time. I'll try and keep that on the table so that people do that. Again, short session and a lot of rules here.
Yeah.
Did you risk your life for another PC?
I did. I jumped in there.
Say I did.
If you feel like you did, the only person I could say would not be able to make that argument would be the druid. I think the other three could make that argument and feel that. Did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind?
Extraordinarily shitty for me.
I'm going to give you a point because the goblin board to the tree is pretty hilarious. So, Bryn, do you think you did something extraordinary, or was it just another day of swinging that blade?
I did stay awake all night.
Okay, I'll give you a point.
Only to have Hild get lost the next day.
Exactly. Lauron, anything for you?
So how does the dark secret activate? I tried to live off of what others would not eat.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that
So
just a role play
I think
thing?
you did suffer for your dark secret because everyone was looking at you like you were crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gavel, did you think you did anything an extraordinary action?
I don't know. I was trying to scare the boar away, and I knew I was going to fail every time.
I think you went, and rather than dealing it with force, you tried to deal with it according to your temperament. So I'll give you a point for that. So, XP to increase a skill by 1 step cost the number of XP equal to the level you want multiplied by 5.
Wow.
So it's first level is 5, and then 10, and then 15.
Can you similarly bring up your? So it's like Mutant Year Zero, so you can bring up your skills and you can get talents, basically, right?
Yep, those are the two things. You can't increase your stats.
Right.
Talents, a new talent costs equal to the rank of the talent times 3. So the first 3 points for the first rank of a talent, 6 for the second rank, 9 for the third rank. Learning new magic requires a mage to teach you. But we'll come back to that stuff next time and check in with people's XP. I want to thank you all for bearing with me because there are a lot of rules to this. And it's been a while. Mutant Year Zero is a little bit easier for me, streamlined. And of course, as you've seen, the dice can get funky as we go through. Starting next session, I will do a check-in and answer any questions, and we'll talk about what people definitely want to see, and do that. Does that seem fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is welcome to OSR by way of Swedish design. There we go. I'm going to stop the broadcast.